How's it going, everybody? This is Dan Gordon. Just going to show you a morning workout that I'm doing on my balcony. I'm using very basic equipment. My main focus today is I want to do more push movements. So that's going to be things like handstands, push-ups, anything where I am essentially pushing my body away. I like to split my routines up. See that it doesn't need to be too complicated. That yes, sometimes it is nice having a gym and having all the equipment, all the machines, but ultimately you don't need it. It's not essential. You just need to have a little bit of imagination and a little bit of knowledge on how to move your body.
So yeah, here I'm just messing around doing some handstand push-ups, starting off a little bit dodgy, and there we go, managing to get a couple of reps out. Sometimes I can only do a few. On a strong day, I can do up to about 10 plus of these. It really depends on how I'm feeling on the day.
See, sometimes with the handstand push-ups, I've been doing handstand push-ups for a long time, quite a few years. I like doing them parallettes, I like doing them just on the ground, I like doing them against the wall. Sometimes they're really clean, sometimes they're not. Sometimes I'm not so bothered about that, I just want to play around with it a little bit or smash out a bunch of reps. Don't care so much about the form. So I don't think there's necessarily a set way of doing them. It depends on what your goals are, what you want from it, and even why you're doing the workout. Today I'm not necessarily training towards a goal. I'm just training. I want to move, I want to push my body a little bit and release a lot of this trapped energy that I've got.
So now here just doing a static handstand. So I'm just literally holding this position as long as I possibly can. And this is really one of my favourite things to do. I find it automatically makes me present. I'm really having to focus my entire energy on just being still. As well as that, just being upside down and having the energy and the blood rushing the opposite way. The best way to experience the benefit from this is to actually just try it. If you can't do it like this, try against a wall. And then going straight into some push-ups. So I'm kind of just trying to bang out as many as I possibly can here whilst breathing very heavily. As you can hear, it's almost like I'm doing a breathwork session with the push-ups. And again, numerous benefits to breathwork and movement in combination with each other.
So even sometimes with those push-ups, start with fairly wide, but then I start to walk forward, walk back a little bit. Just varies the movement. Why am I doing it? Because it's just training in a slightly different way. It's not in a fixed motion, and I felt like it. And this is the thing, don't feel like you're restricted or rigid doing things in a certain way. Goes without saying as well, but when you are working out, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. If you can drink good quality of water, so if you can avoid drinking from the tap, if possible, use a water filtration system, or just get hold of some kind of spring water. That's really beneficial.
So yeah, for a lot of my push sessions, especially if I'm doing it at home, I do like to focus quite heavily on various types of handstands. As you can see, I'm already getting a little bit fatigued here, so I'm experimenting with doing a handstand but then bringing my full body down, kind of using a little bit of the momentum to push my body back up again.
You see, sometimes it's messy as fuck, but it doesn't matter, just do it anyway.
So now here what I'm doing, as you can see, I've gone for a slightly wider hand positioning with the parallettes. And these ones are called archer push-ups. Again, one of my favourites because you can really work your chest and your triceps and your shoulders in quite an effective way. Just purely by putting a bit more pressure on either side. As you can see, I'm kind of going from side to side, and it really just makes it that much tougher.
When you're working out and you're exercising, don't be afraid to breathe heavy, like really breathe deep. Really breathe with the movement. And if you need to scream, roar, shout as you're working out, obviously it's much easier when you're at home. Like if you're in a gym and you're doing that, people will look at you and think you're a bit weird, but when you're at home, if you're in the comfort of your own space, then I'm telling you, don't feel afraid to just fucking go for it. Even like that movement, what the hell am I even doing? I don't know. I'm literally just making up on the spot. It's not a handstand, it's not a push-up, something in between, but it doesn't matter. It's working my body, pushing my triceps, pushing my shoulders, my chest. Does it look perfect? No, doesn't matter.
So again, one of my all-time favourites, one of the classic ways to do handstand push-ups is just by using a wall. Using the ground, using a wall, support yourself like I am. You can even see that I'm using my feet to help me crawl up and down the wall, to just give me a little bit more support and balance through the movement. So effectively I'm replicating a shoulder press. So you can imagine if I was standing with a couple of dumbbells, I'd basically be doing a shoulder press, but except I'm using my own body weight, and not only am I working my shoulders, but all the stabilizer muscles that are being activated here by being in that position. Then going straight into this, it's kind of like a bodybuilding superset, straight into that movement there where I was working my chest, which is a bloody killer, and straight into a little animal flow session. So I'm kind of treating this particular section as a superset circuit kind of movement where I'm going continuously from one movement to the next. So I had a quick rest and then straight back into another movement, but this time I'm doing a slight variation of this handstand push-up where I'm kind of going into this tiger pose where I'm really stretching my body. So as you can see, when I'm getting to that low point, I'm not touching the ground, so my arms are still holding my chest above the ground, but I'm trying to do it with as much control as possible. It's pretty difficult, as you can see. I'm struggling quite a bit there, but I'm just doing what I can in this particular moment. And then straight into some more experimental kind of frog stance, alternate leg, just balance work. Not really thinking too much of it. I'm kind of just playing around here. Pretty fatigued at this point, but I'm just pushing to what I'm able to in this particular moment. As I said, some days you're going to be able to smash out a fantastic workout. Other days you'll come back to do the same movement and you just, for whatever reason, you feel heavy, you can't move your body. It's best not to overthink it. It's best just to do what you can on the day, do your best. Now, I personally think it's important, not even just from an aesthetic or vanity point of view, but from a spiritual point of view, to really tense your muscles and spend time actually appreciating your hard work. As you can see, I'm just using my breath now to do this kind of vacuum of my stomach. And I think this is one of the most spiritual things that you can do with your body, is just to be present, to actually be grateful and say, do you know what? I've worked bloody hard for this. Thank you. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Give the video a like, share it with a friend if you think they might find it interesting, and please subscribe to see more of this kind of content.